His wrists drip blood on the golden chains. He presses his brow to mine, voice jagged. If I save you, I'll damn us all. I taste iron, gold, fear. Then the tower trembles, curses unraveling. 5 nights ago, I swore I'd never open that door.
Still awake, Omega? Thought you'd be crying by now.
I don't answer. My knees dig into cold stone. The iron ring at my ankle bites deeper every time I shift. Torchlight slices under the door, just enough to see Bram's boots pacing outside. Someone's humming, not a guard. The tune is wrong. My mother's lullaby, twisted and rough, leaking through the cracks. My heart stutters. No one sings that song here. No one should. The chain at my ankle rattles as I move. Bram snickers.
Careful. Wouldn't want you to water the moss.
I glare at the door. If I ever get out, Bram's going to trip over his own arrogance. But I keep my mouth shut. Omegas speak. They starve. The humming stops. Silence, sharp as broken glass. I press my ear to the iron, listening. Someone's breathing slow and deliberate, just on the other side. Get up. His voice is low, steady. Not a threat, not a plea. A command, but not cruel. I hesitate. The last prince who barked orders never bothered with names. This one knows my song. I stand. The chain scrapes. My ankle throbs. I force a laugh. If you're here to lecture, take a number. The council's booked solid. Bram mutters something about insolence. I picture him rolling his eyes so hard he'll sprain his neck. The prince doesn't bite. The lullaby hangs between us. Unfinished. Banned by the council. My family's song. Stolen and half remembered. Why is he singing it? Why risk it? With guards so close.
You're not alone. Not tonight.
The words land heavy. I almost laugh. A prince offering comfort through a locked door? I check the ceiling, half expecting a trick. Bram barks a laugh.
Look at him beg. Pathetic, isn't it, Prince?
Humiliation burns hotter than the iron. I square my shoulders, refusing to flinch.
Ignore them.
The corridor goes quiet. Even Bram shuts up. The prince's shadow blocks the light. He hums again, softer. The melody falters, then steadies. My throat tightens. I want to ask how he knows. I want to demand the rest. But I just stand there, chained, listening. The humming stops. A pause. Deliberate.
Do you remember what comes next?
I do. Too well. My mother's voice fading. No one alive should know that verse. A key rattles in the lock. The iron door shudders, caught between opening and staying shut. Bram kicked the door. Water splashed under it, icy and sudden. My blanket soaked through in seconds. I jerked upright, teeth clacking.
Rise and shine, Omega. Enjoy the bath.
He stomped off, boots drumming a victory march. I wrung out the blanket, water streaming between my fingers. The cell reeked of mildew and old velvet. I glared at the thin line of light under the door. Thane's shadow blocked it, tall and still. He'd been there for hours, no shifting, no cough, not even a sigh. I tried to ignore him. Failed. Why did he stay when everyone else ran from this place? Bram's voice echoed from the corridor.
The prince thinks he's a martyr, idiot.
I pressed my ear to the door. Thane didn't answer. He never did. Royalty, apparently, could outlast stone. I counted his breaths. Slow, steady. Not the jittery rhythm of someone forced to care. I wondered if he could hear mine, ragged and stubborn. Counselor Elric's footsteps thundered past. Thane didn't flinch. I caught a glimpse of his boot through the gap. Polished black, a jarring bit of order in this ruin.
You're shivering.
His voice was calm, almost bored. I flinched, expecting a threat. Instead, something soft slid under the door. I grabbed it, blanket heavier than mine, warm from his hands. I tried for bravado. Is this legal? You'll get caught.
Let them try.
No lecture, no apology. Just the blanket and the silence that followed. I wrapped myself in it. The fabric smelled faintly of wood smoke and something sharp like new coins. I almost thanked him. Instead, I laughed. Too loud, too brittle. He didn't move. Not when Bram returned, muttering curses. Not when Elric's voice cut down the hall. Thane's shadow stayed, unmoving. A silent dare. He started humming. Off-key, determined. The council had banned comfort, but Thane ignored rules like they were suggestions. I watched his hands through the gap, palms pressed flat to the stone, wrists raw and red. I didn't ask why. I just listened, clutching the blanket, pretending I didn't care. The humming stopped. The corridor held its breath.
Don't give up. Not tonight.
My throat closed. I pressed my fist to my mouth. His shadow didn't budge. Why me? Why risk everything to wait outside my door?
You're awake.
I jerk upright, wrists yanked by the chains. The fifth night, my skin crawls where iron meets flesh. Hot, not numb. I blink at the cuffs, and gold veins glimmer in the rust. That wasn't there before.
You're quieter tonight.
I'm not here to entertain you. My voice is thin, scraped down by silence and waiting. He doesn't answer. The quiet on the other side of the door is thick enough to choke. I stare at the gold threading through the shackles. It pulses, faint, like something alive. Why am I still here? What are you waiting for?
Protocol.
He says it like a curse. I almost laugh, but it comes out as a cough. Do you ever get tired of this? Sitting out there pretending you're not listening for me to break?
I'm not here for you.
That stings more than it should. Right. Just the rats then. Or maybe the tower needs company. He doesn't rise to it. I count to 5 just to keep my mind from unraveling. I haven't heard about the others. The 12 before me. Are any... The question dies in my throat.
Law forbids it.
He spits the words out. Clipped, but there's a crack in the armor. I hear what he won't say. The law forbids kindness too. I shift, and the gold in the shackles flares. Heat lances up my arms. Sharp, bright, wrong. I bite back a cry, but my hands twitch, scraping metal against stone. Thane. It's half warning, half plea.
What's wrong?
The shackles. They're changing. Gold. I can't finish. The pain spikes. Electric, and I grit my teeth, refusing to fold.
Stay with me.
I focus on the stone under my knees, the taste of old sweat on my tongue, the faint clang of distant bells. Anything to keep from slipping. The gold pulses, then fades. The heat drains away, leaving my wrists ringed in something new. No longer just iron, but gold fused through. I sag, breath ragged. I'm still here, I mutter. My wrists are marked, transformed. Not just a prisoner now, something else. Why gold? Is this a curse, or the start of something worse? The questions jam in my throat. Silence. Then,
there's more to this than pity.
No explanation, just that. I lift my arms, gold catching the moonlight, and stare at the door. Outside, the prince waits, and now I'm not sure who's chained to whom.
You're supposed to be alone.
His voice came through the door before I even heard his boots. Not a greeting, not a question. Just that, I shifted, chains tugging at my wrists. You're supposed to follow the rules, yet here you are. He didn't answer. The only sound was the faint click as his gloved hand tightened on the iron handle. I pictured him on the other side, rigid, jaw clenched, coat collar hiding half his face. The prince, breaking his own law.
Go ahead, mock me.
I would, but you're making it too easy. What's next? A midnight confession. His thumb tapped the handle. Once, twice. A nervous tick, or maybe just impatience. You keep coming back. Why? He hesitated. I could almost feel him weighing every word, as if the wrong syllable might shatter the stone between us.
I broke the law for you.
My heart stuttered. I hated how much I wanted to believe it meant something. Congratulations. Want a medal? Or should I start composing your pardon? His silence pressed in. I stared at the door, wishing I could see his face, wishing I could see anything but the dull gleam of my shackles. The gold veins pulsed, heat prickling under my skin. If you're risking your neck, I want answers. What's the curse costing you? He exhaled, slow and careful.
You don't need to know.
Of course. The royal specialty. Secrets and half-truths. My throat felt raw. You're terrible at this, you know. Most princes at least pretend to have a plan. A sound, almost a laugh, but it died before it could escape. The torch outside flickered, shadows shifting under the door.
Go to sleep, Elan.
As if I could, with you lurking out there like some tragic gargoyle. His grip faltered. Leather rasped against iron, a brief, unguarded slip. For a heartbeat, he sounded less like a prince and more like someone lost. I wanted to ask if he ever left. If he ever took off the gloves, let himself be seen. But I swallowed the words. In this place, wanting was dangerous. The torch sputtered. I watched the gold lines crawling across my wrists, burning questions into my skin. The door stayed shut. His hand didn't move. And in the dark, I realized, maybe I wasn't the only one trapped.
Up. Now.
I jerk awake, wrists yanked by the gold shackles. The metal bites, cold and heavy. A reminder I'm still a prisoner in the tower. I blink hard. Thane's silhouette fills the doorway. Posture rigid. Boots planted like he owns the floor.
You heard it.
The lullaby. He means the humming. That off-key, deliberate tune threading through the stones. My skin prickles. The song isn't gentle. It needles, presses, insists. Worse, the rhythm is wrong. Not the old lullaby my mother sang, but twisted, syncopated, off by just enough to make my nerves itch. I don't answer. My tongue feels glued to my teeth. Instead, I count the beats. 3, pause, 5, pause, 2, my mother's code. The same pattern she tapped on the library table the night the secret passage caved in. Thane stands motionless, face unreadable, eyes fixed on me. The lullaby seeps through the walls, each note sharper than the last. He hums the phrase twice, stops, repeats, exactly like my mother used to, always leaving the last line unfinished.
You're listening. Good.
He says it like an order, but there's a question buried underneath. Or maybe I'm desperate enough to imagine it. My fingers twitch against the shackles, searching for warmth that isn't there. I force myself to focus. The rhythm is a message. North to the rose, left to the gold. Follow the stones. Directions. The lullaby isn't just a song. It's a map, hidden in plain sight. The bells outside fall silent. My heart stutters. I want to demand answers. How does he know my mother's code? How many times has he hummed secrets through this wall, hoping I'd catch on? But all I manage is a whisper.
Who taught you that song?
He hesitates. His jaw tightens, just for a moment. A crack in his armor, gone as soon as it appears.
Someone who trusted me.
I almost laugh. Instead, I stare at the gold on my shackles, catching the first slice of sunlight. For a heartbeat, fear loosens its grip. Wonder blooms, wild and fragile. Above us, a distant rumble rolls over the tower. The lullaby lingers, heavy with promise. There's a way out. I know it now. But Thane's silence is louder than any chain, and the question he won't answer is the one that matters most. Why does he want me to escape? My nail scrapes stone. Not by accident. I'm searching. desperate for anything the tower missed. 5 nights, and the shackles pulse against my skin, their glow sinking with that damned lullaby. I count each beat to keep from unraveling. A seam, right where the floor meets the wall. I dig in, ignoring the gold veins threading the stone. Dangerous, forbidden, but I'm past caring. The slab shifts. Dust coats my fingers. I cough, tasting old secrets. There's something wedged inside, thin. I tug it free. Parchment, brittle as dried leaves. Not a key, not freedom, just a scrap, trembling in my hand. Footsteps, slow, measured. Not Bram, not a bored guard. I freeze, heart hammering.
What did you find?
Of course, Thane, always arriving when I least want him. His voice carries through the door, heavy, impossible to ignore. I slide the note beneath my palm, trying to sound bored. Nothing. Just dust. If I say it flat enough, maybe he'll believe me. He doesn't. His shadow blocks the torchlight, and for a second, I catch the edge of his face, expression unreadable except for the tension in his jaw.
You're hiding something.
My hands won't stop shaking. I press the parchment tighter, willing myself to look calm. If he comes in, I lose everything. If I give it up, I lose anyway.
Let me see.
I meet his eyes. It's nothing important. My voice is steady, my insides aren't. He gives a sound, half a laugh, half a warning. He doesn't move. The threat is in how still he stands, waiting for me to break. I don't. The note is small enough to swallow, but I can't bring myself to destroy it. I risk a glance, my mother's handwriting, sharp and urgent. One line. Gold breaks what iron cannot. No signature, no explanation. Just that, I almost laugh. It could mean everything or nothing at all. Thane shifts. My grip tightens.
Elan, give it to me. Or
what? You'll drag me out for execution before breakfast? Bram would love the drama. My voice cracks, nerves showing through. He hesitates, just for a moment. Then softer.
You're making it worse.
That lands harder than any threat. I could give in. I could let him win. But I don't. I press the note flat, breathing in the dust of secrets, and decide, if I'm going to lose, it'll be on my terms. I shove the stone back into place, hiding the parchment. The bells ring for dawn. I keep my hand closed, waiting for Thane's next move. I yank at the chain. Stupid. The gold bites deeper, and I nearly drop it. But stubbornness wins. If I let go, I lose. If I hold on, I burn. My heel scrapes the stone. I grit my teeth, refusing to give the guards the satisfaction of a scream. The chain vibrates, low, relentless, like it's counting down to something worse.
Elan.
His voice slices through the door. No shouting, just that command cold enough to freeze marrow. I don't answer. I squeeze the chain harder. The heat climbs and my vision blurs at the edges. What's the worst that happens? Maybe I pass out. Maybe I wake up free.
Let go.
His words land like a slap. My fingers twitch, but I hold on. The chain pulses, sending a jolt up my leg. I choke back a sound, almost a laugh, almost a sob. He's closer now. The chain's rhythm changes, matching the pattern of his steps. The magic knows him. It always does.
Stop, please.
That word, please, does more damage than the gold. Thane doesn't beg. Not for me. Not for anyone. I force a smirk into my voice. Didn't think you cared, Your Highness. Enjoying the show? Silence. I picture him on the other side, fists clenched, jaw set. He hates when I joke about pain. He hates that he can't stop it.
Don't hurt yourself. Not for me.
My grip falters. The chain cools, Just a fraction, enough for me to breathe. I release it. My leg trembles. The ache lingers deeper than before, like the gold left something behind. I stare at the door. He's still there. I can feel it. His presence, heavy, unspoken. The chain's magic flickers, casting a brief glint across the floor. For a heartbeat, I see his hand pressed flat to the iron. Not moving, not leaving. Why does the chain react to him? Why does it want us both? And what will I do when the pain returns? And he's the only one who can stop it? My hand slams against the cell door. Thane! My voice cracks, raw, desperate. The chains at my wrists jerk me back, biting into skin. I shove forward again, harder. I don't care if the guard's here. No answer. Not even a whisper. The corridor beyond is silent, too silent. I press my ear to the wood, breath shallow, listening for his song, his footsteps. Anything, nothing. I drop to my knees. My fingers brush the floor, gritty with dust, and something slick. I freeze. I drag my hand back, squint at the smear glistening on my palm. Not mine. Too dark, too thick. Blood. My stomach knots. Thane? I whisper softer now, as if the stone itself might answer. I push my hand under the door, feeling for the source. My fingertips sink into a warm puddle. The scent hits me, metallic, yes, but threaded with something richer, almost sweet, like the memory of coins pressed into my palm as a child. Gold. Always gold. He was here. He left this behind. I yank my hand back, heart pounding. The veins in my shackles pulse, echoing a rhythm that isn't mine. The curse is awake. It's feeding on this, on him. He's bleeding because of me, I breathe. I want to laugh, or scream, or both. Instead, I press my forehead to the door, letting the chill seep in. You idiot, I mutter. Why did you come back? No answer. Just a slow drip of blood seeping under the threshold. I remember the parchment I found yesterday, the way the gold in my shackles flared when Thane was near. We're linked, not just by chains, but by wounds. If I suffer, so does he. My hand trembles. If this breaks, I whisper, what happens to you? The torch outside gutters, throwing warped gold across the blood on the floor. I stare at my palm, stained and shaking.
Thane, I say again, this time barely more than breath. A faint melody stirs beyond the door, off-key, faltering, but stubborn. The curse in my shackles thrums in answer. I press my hand to the floor, feeling the warmth fade. Are you listening? I ask the darkness. Or are you bleeding out because of me? The song wavers, then grows stronger. My chains tighten as if urging me to listen. I close my eyes. If you're out there, don't come back. Not for me. Not if it means this. But the music keeps rising, stubborn as hope. And I realize, if the chain snaps, it won't just be my freedom at stake. It'll be his life. I grit my teeth, voice shaking. Don't you dare die for me. The song falters, then surges, answering or defying me. I don't know which, and I don't know which I want.
You're bleeding again.
His voice cuts through the cell door before I even see him. I look down. My wrist is slick red running from the gold-veined shackle. I press my palm to the metal, leaving a print. He's on the other side, close enough that I hear his breath. His shirt sleeve is torn, blood dripping from his own wrist. He presses it to the door, matching me, like we're sealing a pact.
I should have told you sooner.
No title, no apology, just that. My mouth is dry. I want to say something clever, but nothing comes out. I wait. He doesn't move.
The curse is simple. If I save you, the others stay chained. All 12. Forever.
The words land like a blow. My stomach hollows out. I clench my fists, nails digging into my palm. My blood, his blood, both staining the iron. So it's me or them? That's the price? He nods, forehead pressed to the door. I can't see his face, just the tension in his voice.
If I break the curse for everyone, we both die. That's the bargain.
He says it flat, but his voice cracks at the end. The prince, always composed, finally sounds like he's breaking. I want to scream. Instead, I lean harder into the door, feeling the heat of the metal. My heart hammers, wild and uneven. You're the prince. Isn't it your job to find a way out? He laughs, but it's bitter, short.
If there was a loophole, I'd have torn it open by now.
I picture the other prisoners, faces I barely know, waiting for a miracle that won't come. My freedom means their sentence. His sacrifice means both our deaths. I press my bleeding wrist to his, metal biting deep. The pain is sharp, but I welcome it. Our blood mingles, a thin line seeping into the groove of the door.
Saving you means losing everything.
His hand stays against the iron. So does mine. I should pull away. I don't. We stand like that, silent. The only sound is the faint rattle of chains and the uneven rhythm of our breathing. I want to ask him to choose me. I want to tell him to save them. I want to say anything except what's true. I don't know what I want. The curse stirs, hungry, sensing our indecision. The gold veins in the shackles pulse, brighter now as if the tower itself is listening. What if I say yes? He doesn't answer. His fingers curl, knuckles white against the blood-slick metal. The silence stretches, sharp as a blade. I don't know if I'm waiting for his answer, or if he's waiting for mine.
Show me the list.
My demand slices the quiet. I'm already at the door, wrists chained, knuckles pressed to the slit. No patience left for Thane's games. He stands outside, unmoving, his outline sharp against the corridor's gloom. He doesn't answer. The lullaby he always hums stutters, then resumes, softer. I grit my teeth.
If I'm just another experiment, I deserve to know how many failed before me.
A pause. Then the scrape of paper. Something slides under the door. A folded scrap, yellowed and delicate. I snatch it up. The parchment threatens to tear. Ink faded in places, but the names are clear enough. 13. 12 slashed through. Only mine untouched. My throat tightens.
Lucky 13. Is that it?
Thane shifts, boots rasping. Still silent.
You could at least pretend I matter.
He finally speaks, voice flat.
It's not luck.
I scan the list again, searching for sense. The oldest name, something about the way the letters curl, matches my mother's handwriting. My pulse jumps.
Why am I the last? Why keep me at all?
He moves closer. The chains at my wrists tighten as I brace for his answer.
They chose you. I didn't.
The words hit harder than any blow. Chosen. Not by him, not by me. I press my forehead to the door, parchment crumpling in my grip.
So the royal plan is just cross out names until someone survives?
He exhales, rough. No denial.
Surviving isn't winning.
A drop of gold slips from my cuff, sizzling as it hits the floor. I flinch. The lullaby outside falters, then resumes. Barely audible. I clutch the list to my chest, heart pounding.
My mother's name is here. What did she do?
He doesn't answer. The silence stretches heavy. His shadow lingers at the threshold.
Don't lose it.
My hands shake. I can't tell if it's fear or fury. I stare at the names, the ink still warm from his touch. The night presses in, questions multiplying. I'm not sure which will break first. The chains or me.
You're not listening.
His shout cut through the downpour, sharp enough to make the counselor flinch. I gripped the bars, metal biting into my palms. Below, Thane stood in the courtyard, rain streaming off his hair, cloak clinging to him like a second skin. He looked up, jaw set, eyes locked on the counselor in black.
Protocol stands. You're not to be here, Lord Thane. Not for him.
The counselor's voice was thin, almost drowned by the storm. He tried to stand tall, but water dripped from his nose, his dignity dissolving with every word.
I'm not leaving.
He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. The counselor's lips pressed into a line. I pressed my forehead to the bars, heart thudding. The gold in my shackles tightened, a steady pressure, but I forced myself to focus on the scene below. The counselor stepped closer, lowering his voice. I caught only fragments: family's shame, Omega's curse, danger to the line. I'd heard it all before, but Thane didn't budge.
You want to drag me inside? Try.
The counselor recoiled, as if Thane had struck him. He spat something bitter and stalked away, shoes splashing through the mud, vanishing beneath the arches. Thane stayed. Alone now, he tipped his head back, letting the rain wash over his face. He looked up, straight at me. For a moment, the world shrank to the space between us. My pulse hammered, the gold at my wrist squeezing tighter, but I didn't move. He lifted a hand, palm open. Not a wave, not a command, just a silent promise. I wanted to call out. Ask why he bothered. Ask if he remembered the shirt my mother stitched, the one with roses like the ones crushed under his boots now. But my throat closed. All I could do was watch.
Go inside. You'll get sick.
He wasn't talking to me, but I caught every word. The counselor's shadow flickered at the edge of the walk, then disappeared. Thane stood his ground, rain soaking him, refusing to break. I tried to sit up straighter. The gold pressed harder, a numbness crawling up my arms. I bit the inside of my cheek, tasted iron, and forced myself not to look away. If anyone asked, I'd say I didn't care, that I was used to disappointment, to being left behind. But Thane was still there, defiant, refusing to let the storm win. Lightning split the sky. For an instant, his face was clear, stubborn, unyielding, eyes fixed on me. He didn't move. Neither did I. The storm raged, but tonight, I wasn't alone behind these bars. If he stayed, what would I risk to meet him at the door? My fingers dig under the stone, searching for the seam. The gold in my shackles thrums, and I grit my teeth, willing my hand steady. Sweat slides down my wrist, pooling beneath the iron. I press harder. The stone shifts. A click. My heart skips. I wedge my fingers into the gap, ignoring the sting. The panel lifts free. Behind it, nestled on faded velvet, is a key. Gold, delicate, shaped like a rose stem. It glows, untouched by dust or time. I stare. My mother's words echo. The gold you bear is both lock and key. Only the song's last note will guide you. I hum the lullaby's ending, barely audible. The gold heats, almost scalding. The key calls to me. I reach in. The metal is slick with my sweat, oddly heavy for its size. My hand shakes as I close my fist around it. The key presses into my palm, sharp and alive. Boots scrape outside. I freeze. Thane stands in the corridor, half lit, arms folded. His shadow falls across the bars.
You found it.
His voice is flat, unreadable. He doesn't move, just watches. I force a laugh, but it comes out thin. I hold up the key, letting him see it tremble in my grip.
You know what that costs.
I swallow. If I use it, I'm not the only one who pays. He nods, jaw tight. His gaze flicks from my face to the key and back.
Is it worth it?
I want to say yes. I want to say I don't care. But my voice sticks. I look at the key, then at him. If I turn it, what happens to the others? He doesn't answer, just stares, eyes hard.
There's no going back.
The cell shrinks to the space between my fist and the lock. My pulse hammers. The key feels heavier with every second. I meet his eyes. Will you stop me? He hesitates. For the first time, he looks uncertain.
That's not my choice.
I grip the key tighter, feeling its weight, its promise, its threat. The world narrows to this moment. My hand, the lock, Thane's shadow. If I open these chains, what price will I pay? And who else will bleed for my freedom? I press the key to the lock and wait, just long enough to see if Thane will try to stop me. The key turns, metal bites, then gives. My cuff drops to the floor with a flat clang. Thane blocks the doorway, shoulders squared, dawn blazing behind him. Blood runs from his wrist, dripping onto the stone. He doesn't speak. His eyes are wild, jaw clenched. He's waiting, no, daring me. I step forward. The chain drags behind, scraping a line between us. My boots hit the threshold. I'm free. I could run. He doesn't move. He just stares, breathing hard.
You're not leaving me here.
His voice is rough, stripped bare. I freeze. The urge to laugh, to spit, to shove past him. It all tangles up. I see the wound on his arm, raw and streaked with gold. He looks breakable. I reach for him. My hand closes around his wrist, slick with blood. The contact snaps. Magic crackles, sharp as a live wire. He flinches but doesn't pull away.
Don't run.
Not a command. A plea. My chest tightens. I could bolt. I want to. I don't. I squeeze his wrist, not gentle. Gold glints between our hands, a chain half-looped around us both. His pulse hammers under my thumb. He meets my eyes, desperate.
Take me with you.
His words hit harder than any lock. Not a prince's order, just need, naked and raw. I know what it is to beg. I could leave him. I could walk out, let the chain fall, never look back. The world is open. He's in my way. I press my thumb into his palm. He hisses, breath sharp.
If you go, I go.
It's not just escape. It's a vow. The chain between us tightens, gold and blood binding for one breathless moment. Footsteps pound up the corridor, fast, closing in. I don't let go.
Move.
He shoves me through the library doors, blood dripping from his sleeve. I stumble, catching myself on a table littered with torn parchment. The stink of scorched wax clings to my jacket, but I barely notice. All I see are the counselors, waiting in the gloom, their faces half hidden behind stacks of ancient books. I keep my hands close, fingers brushing the key hidden in my sleeve. Thane plants himself between me and the council, jaw clenched, eyes cold.
Stay behind me.
His voice is barely above a breath, but my body obeys before I can argue. I grit my teeth, refusing to look away from the three advisors as they step forward. Their robes trail ink stains. Their eyes flick from Thane to me, calculating. The eldest advisor speaks, voice smooth as oiled wood. We warned you, Prince. The tower's rules are not yours to rewrite. I almost laugh. Rules. As if the marks on my wrists are just ink on paper. My skin tingles, memory of iron and gold crawling under my cuffs.
He's under my protection.
A sharp breath from the counselors. Thane shifts, blocking me completely. I catch a scent on him. Not blood. Not fear. Something bitter, like old promises. The advisors close in. Voices rising. Traitor. Usurper. Then one spits a word that makes the gold in my shackles throb. Expendable. I let out a short, sharp laugh. Their faces go rigid. Thane glances back. Just for a second. There's something in his eyes. Not anger. Worry.
You're not touching him.
He doesn't shout. He doesn't have to. The threat is in his stance, in the way his fingers curl, blood spotting the marble beneath us. One advisor steps forward, voice cracking. You think the tower bends for you? Others before him tried. They died. Others, the word lands hard. My stomach knots. How many? Why me? Thane goes still. I reach for him. Or maybe he reaches for me, and suddenly my hand is wrapped around his wrist, gold-streaked iron pressing against his torn skin. The contact sears, but neither of us lets go. For a heartbeat, the room holds its breath. No rain, no accusations. Just the question burning in my chest. Who came before me? Why am I still here?
You're not the first.
His words hit like a blow. I freeze, cold, settling deep. I want to ask why I matter. The words won't come. The counselors circle, eyes bright with hunger. I squeeze Thane's wrist, refusing to let go. Candlelight glints off blood and gold. The door behind us creaks open, slow and heavy. Someone new steps inside.
Hand over the Omega.
Boots scrape marble. A staff jabs my ankle. I don't flinch. Thane steps in front of me, sword raised. His sleeve is smeared with blood, but his eyes are fixed on the council, not me. He looks ready to take on the whole room.
You're bleeding again.
I mutter.
Try not to get heroic. It's embarrassing.
He doesn't answer. The chain between my wrists tightens, gold veins pulsing. My skin prickles, nerves screaming. I grip the links, refusing to show pain. Rain rattles the stained glass overhead. The council's men circle closer, their robes brushing open books from the tables. One of them sneers, staff aimed at Thane's chest.
No.
That single word lands like a blow. He's made up his mind. I know that tone. Unyielding, reckless. I want to punch him. Instead, I plant my feet. If they want me, they'll have to drag me over Thane's body. The chain sears hotter, digging into my wrists. I taste blood. My vision swims. The lullaby is back, threading through my skull, matching the pulse in my arms.
You're not dying for me.
My voice is steady, but my hands are shaking.
If you want a tragic ending, pick your own.
His mouth twitches, almost a smile. The chain yanks, pain shooting up my arm. I grit my teeth, refusing to give the council the satisfaction of a scream. A councilman lunges, staff swinging at Thane. I move first, blocking his path with my body. Books topple. The council shouts, "Let go." His voice is raw, not a command, almost a plea. Let go? Of him? Of the chain? Of hope? I shake my head, sweat stinging my eyes.
5 nights in this tower, waiting for someone to see me as more than a tool.
I say.
I'm not stepping aside now.
The chain blazes, heat flooding my arms. The world shrinks to Thane and me, the council fading to background noise. The lullaby vibrates through the metal, through us both. The pain spikes. I dig my nails into my palm, refusing to let go. Thane's hand finds mine, desperate. Something ancient snaps. Not iron. Something deeper. Light bursts behind my eyes, swallowing the library, the council, everything but us. I hear Thane shout my name, and then, nothing but white. What did we just unleash? I fling the last gold link at Thane's feet. It shatters, scattering flecks across the stair.
Go. Now.
I shake my head, breath tight in my chest. You're bleeding. That's your plan? Shove me out and hope the curse forgets you exist. He leans on the wall, blood running down his wrist, iron cuff biting into skin. The tower's door yawns open behind me, sunlight cutting a line across the threshold. I can taste metal on my tongue. Old, bitter, final.
You have to leave. That's how this ends.
Ends for who? My voice comes out flat. You want me to walk out and pretend you're not the one paying for it? He doesn't answer. His eyes, amber, unblinking, lock on mine. He looks carved from something ancient. I almost laugh. Of course he'd try to order me out of my own story.
It's not your choice.
That word lands like a stone. Choice. I thought I had one. I thought he did. But the curse is greedy. If I step out, it takes him. If he leaves, it takes me. The kingdom gets one survivor. I hurl the rest of the gold at the stairs. So that's it? Save the world, lose you? That's the bargain? He turns away, jaw clenched so hard I hear it. For a second, neither of us moves. The prince's song drifts up from below, broken and unfinished. The last note never comes.
If I go, you're trapped. If you go,
He stops. He doesn't need to finish. I know what he means. If I walk out, he's damned. His whole line is, my hands are empty. My wrists are bare. Sunlight creeps closer, brushing my face. I should run. I should save myself, but I can't leave him here, not when I finally understand the cost. I step toward him. My boot crushes a gold flake to dust.
I'm not leaving you.
He grabs my arm, his grip desperate for the first time. His voice is raw.
don't make me choose.
I meet his gaze. Too late. For one heartbeat, sunlight spills over us. The chains are gone. The curse should be broken. But the song stumbles. The air turns heavy. Thane's still in the shadows, refusing the light. And I realize one of us still has to pay. Thane, stay with me. My boots slid. Blood, not mine, slicked the stair. Thane was on his knees, head bowed, one hand locked around the iron cuff at his wrist. The gold veins in the metal pulsed. Angry, then faded. I dropped beside him, knees jarring against stone. Thane, look at me. My hand found his shoulder, fingers digging in. He didn't move. For a heartbeat, I thought the tower had finally claimed him. Then he sucked in a breath, shaky and raw. I gripped his hand, desperate. The new gold chain between us was lighter, almost weightless, but it burned against my skin. "Don't you dare leave me," I said, voice low. "If you go, I go." His fingers twitched, searching for mine.
Not your burden.
Of course he'd say that. Always the martyr, always convinced he could carry it alone. I leaned in, forehead to his, feeling the heat of his skin. You waited outside my door every night. Now I'm here. I get to choose. His eyes opened, dark and wild with pain. The gold in his shackle flickered. Warning.
Elan, don't.
Too late. I shifted closer, knees pressed to his. The chain between us warmed, almost approving. My other hand covered his wrist. Gold links hot through velvet. "I'm not letting you do this alone." My voice cracked. I didn't care. He flinched, jaw tight. Blood smeared my palm. The air tasted of iron and old stone. The tower waiting for its price.
You'll regret it.
I almost laughed. Instead, I felt the magic shift, the chain tightening then slackening, as if it listened. If I fall, you fall. That was the bargain. I'm not running. Silence, the kind that makes you forget to breathe.
Don't let go.
5 words. My hand closed over his. Gold to gold. The chain's warmth curled into my bones. Somewhere below, bells rang. I pressed my cheek to his brow and waited, because the tower wasn't finished with us yet, and I still didn't know what it would demand next.
Move.
His voice snaps me awake. I push myself up, boots scraping rubble where the tower's door used to be. Gold links tug at my wrist, warm, not biting. I glance down. Not iron, not cursed. Gold, shaped to fit me, not a shackle. Not quite. Bells ring out from the city below, clear and insistent. I'm standing, not kneeling. No guards, no council. Just Thane and me, the tower in ruins, morning blazing overhead. He's beside me, silent as always. Blood stains his wrist where the old chains broke. I reach for his hand before I can stop myself. The gold chain between us glimmers in the sunlight. I squeeze his fingers. He lets me.
You're awake.
Barely, I mutter, but my voice is steadier than I expect. You look worse. He snorts. Doesn't let go. I study the chain. This is new.
Better than iron.
He's right. 5 nights I dreamed of breaking free. Now, the chain feels like a question I haven't answered. I clear my throat. You're not humming. He shrugs, but his eyes flick to my mouth. Waiting. So I start. Quiet at first, the lullaby he used to hum outside my cell. My voice carries, threading through broken stone and wild roses clawing up from the cracks. This time, the song is mine. He listens, doesn't move. When I finish, the bells are still ringing, but softer now.
You remember it.
Every note I say, it kept me alive. He looks at the chain, then at me. His jaw tightens.
We could break it.
I shake my head. No. Let them see. Let them try. He almost smiles. Almost. His palm covers mine, steady and sure, heat seeping through my skin where iron left its mark.
Sing it again.
He says it like a dare. I accept. My voice rises, stronger, spilling out over the city that once called me prisoner. Thane hums along, off-key, stubborn, but this time, the melody fits. For a moment, I'm not afraid. Not of the council, not of the past. The gold on my wrist isn't a chain. It's a choice. The bells swell. Sunlight flashes on the gold between us. I'm not waiting anymore. The tower's door is gone. I stand beside the prince who waited outside it. Some chains you break. Some you choose. Would you keep the gold or let it fall?